Who are they? Who are these beings? Because they look like they're half man and half animal, you all. They do. I started looking at some museums and stuff, and I've stumbled across these, and I'm thinking, what on earth is going on here? Is there really, or was there could probably still be beings who look like this, who existed, and then their history has been totally erased, except for these statues of them. Look at this. Let's look at it close, you all. I hope that, let me come over here to see if I can be seen. I want to make sure I'm on here. Hello there, King Freya. Yeah, hello, First Life. Gilgamesh and Enkidu. Now let's look at this. No, I'm serious. Look at this. Let's, let me see if I can make this one bigger. Right here, look at this being right here. Let me move this one to the side. It looks like he has like a ears like that of like maybe a Lemurian, a lion or something. And the feet. Look at the legs right here. And it looks like he's holding something. I think it's a man, but you know how you saw on The Wizard of Oz, how you had the lion? The lion was an actual being, but he could speak and everything. So this is this one. Let me come over here. I'm going to bring this up on my phone because I don't know what comments might be coming on here. You all, I got myself wide awake is what's happened. And this is really strange to see. It really is. The woodwoos, forever constant. Is it really? Are they really the woodwoos? Let me put this to the side. Wait a second. I'm going to turn it down, you all. I'm trying to see this really fast. Let me see this. You know, we've saw other images. Let me show you what we saw before. Of course, we've saw, let me get to the ones. These are the ones that we're used to seeing. The ones like, you know, they put right out there in front of us, like right here. Inky and Lil, they kind of look like human-like people and stuff like that. But really, who are these other people? Let me put it back to me. Who are these beings right here? Let me put this one, shrink it down. We're going to go look at a bunch of pictures because there might be more. I just stumbled up a few. Let's look at this one right here. Look at the face of it. He, you see his mouth and stuff. Let me try to see if I can get this other one out of the way. I'm going to shrink it down, just down here a little beneath me. He's got a goblet or something. And, looks like he's holding a big, I would say like a bone. But then, look at his legs. They're not normal legs. They're like that of an animal. He's got hooves on his feet. This being, this person, this half man, half animal, he has hoofs on his feet. And they made a statue of him. He's got hair on his legs. So we've got this one like that. Hello there, Apple Brooks. Children of the Nephilim. So we've got them. We've got this. I'm going to see if this will let me come over to this page. Let's see if it let me take me over. I'm on a different browser. Let's see if it'll take us to the different browser. Yeah, I'm waiting just a moment to see if it will transfer over and pick up this, even though I'm not. Yes, it did. I'm not on. Do I got an echo? I don't want to have an echo. Do I have one? I want to try to get to these. No, this is serious. This ain't no time for you to act silly on here, you all. It isn't. This is, I'm trying to figure out why some of these beings, of course, you know, they got this right here. This is a, you know, the colossal statue of a winged human-headed bull from the palace of Ashurbanipal, Nimrod the Assyrian. So we got that. Let me go back to that. I want to try to get back to, that's great. Oh, we do have an echo? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I think I fixed it now, you all. Thank you. So there he is right here. And, oh, you all, look at this one right here. So, who's that? Who is that? See, and where did these things come from? Because they look like the Anunnaki stuff. Thank you, Stormy Honey. That's good, you are. They look kind of like the Anunnaki. Just think they got these statues, these artifacts all over the world. This says it's Mesopotamia, Sumerian kings and queens. So this is one of the Sumerian. Okay, let's see if this just says a sarcophagus. That's all this says. It was a sarcophagus. But I want to see, we've seen that. Human-headed winged bull and winged lion, Lamassu. Let's view that image, you all. So he's got hoofs too, you all. Now let's look at this. He's got hoofs, and so does, and look at his head and stuff. So does these on the right beside me. They got hoofs too. So are they like one and the same? Let me make sure I pull this one up. You can make sure you can see his hoofs down here. Are they like one and the same? From the same group like the Sumerians and Mesopotamians? Not right there, Gina. Honey, where are you all? I gotta get back into where I'm supposed to be. So let's look at that. He's got his hooves. Look, this is like a normal human looking, like the Anunnaki. Right here, what's he got in his hand right here, you all? Have you seen this one before? They got something in their hand right there. He's got wings. They got wings, you all. They got wings and they fly around in the sky, but his beard is like his beard. It is. Just like that. So what are they holding in their hand? A branch? And is it one and the same? Is it just like a replica of it? Let's see if there's some more to look at. Oh my gosh. I guess these are all replicas of the Anunnakis. Look at that. Lamassu. Who was an ancient deity? Was this Lamassu really an ancient deity? Look at this thing. I know that this is on some kind of other site, but I want to see all these images of like the Anunnakis. Either they got a human head to them and the beards on them and stuff. Look at that. Look at that's kind of like damaged. The Assyrians in Assyria, isn't Assad in Assyria, or Assyrians and stuff like that? What's on the, look on his hat right there. Oh wow. A guardian of holy things. So these, I think everyone has seen before, all of these ones. Right here, the flying Lamassu. No, I don't have an email to send a picture. And I have probably, I think 38,000 emails I haven't looked at. So, no, I really don't have one. I want to see about the other. Let's look at this one. So here's another one. It's ancient Egypt, right there with that statue. Let's see if we've seen. Let me see if this image is. We can look at this one face up. Look at how they're depicted. What is up with their beards and stuff? And what if going down here? What if it's feathers? You know, like a bird. All the feathers right there. Going down them like an angel. Yeah, like an angel. Let's see if okay, we've already seen that one. I don't want to go back to the same ones of these because we've already seen them, but they are depicted in different ways. I want to go back to the animals that look kind of different. Let's like this one right here. Look, that has David Icke's name on it, you all, right there. No, I didn't. I don't want to download no file, you all. I don't. Look at this. So I just wanted to view the image and it won't let me. I don't know how to get out of that, you all. Just wanted to see if I can view it better. That's like a lion-like face. Can I enlarge this some more? No, I can't. Shoot. I'm not good at navigating on this. Look at this one right here. I wonder if we can get any better images of it. Let's see really fast if I can find it. Boom. See what the writing is on it. So look at that. That is an animal face, you all. It is, and it looks like a female chest. A lion's nose. Right here, a lion's nose and eyes and mouth. You can see the writing. I wonder what the feet would have looked like. That would have been interesting. So, who is she? It's an Egypt person. But we want to, let's look at this one. The statue of the lion-headed goddess Sekhmet from the temple of Mut Karnak, New Kingdom Egyptian. She's a lion too. Are these Lemurians? Are these the lioness? Okay, you got like when it's talking about the scroll in the apocalyptic book of Revelation, it says, who is able to open the scroll and its 7 seals? And it says, the Lion of Judah. He is able to open the scroll and its 7 seals. And we got these really looking lion faces right here. Look at that. What's on top of his head right here? Look at the rest of the body. The hands are normal human hands. The feet are normal human feet. Let me count the toes, you all. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I don't know if they look like normal toes. They could be, you all. But look at that. Look at that. What is that on top? Is that supposed to represent the sun? Yeah. Yeah, look at that. So let me see if we can go back. I want to see another one, you all. Let's see if we can see any more. Why did they got all of these things on sale? Oh, this is a good one too. Oh, yes, right here you are. Let's see if we can view it. Look at that one. That looks like bronze, doesn't it? Like, look at the snake at the top of the head, you all. See that snake up there? Looked like a cobra or some cobra. That's as close as we can get it. Were they really like, this is strange. This is so strange. But it's history. A history that is hidden. Look at the ears right here. And I just want to say, I don't mean any disrespect at all to any of the history, none. I'm just trying to just like take it all in. Take it all in, you all. They look like this is weird. It's so strange, but is it really strange? it's strange that they're hiding it from us. They don't want they don't talk about it. They're not hiding it. They just don't talk about it. That's what's the weird thing. Did we look at this one? I think we already looked at that one. Let's see if there was any other ones down here. What's this one? This is just like normal looking right here. A normal looking Egyptian antique statue of an Egyptian king. This was an Egyptian king. Looks like a small king right there. It does. Oh, wow. The rare Egyptian goddess Sekhmet, seated heavy statue carved in stone. So were these really gods and goddesses? You can tell that it's got a lion face because you can see where the whiskers would belong right there. Just like that, half man, half animal. And yet, they could probably speak. They're bound to have speak a language. What is that one like? The lion, the witch, and the wardrobe, or something, and or the Lion King. Okay, there's probably something about the Lion King too. This is a different angle of it, right there. So this is a female goddess right here. Totally female. Okay, now this looks kind of familiar. Sins were set, kneeling period, Middle Kingdom. Right here. Does he got big ears? Is that his ears? Normal ears. He's got a normal face, a normal mouth. Looks like a normal body. That could be his ears. It could be. He could be normal. Probably was normal because he doesn't have a lion head. King, ancient Egyptian, made of anthracite. I've never heard of that before. Anthracite genus. It's an original work. They got big ears. So why are their ears so big? And nothing against big ears. Okay, nothing against it. So what about this one? Why does he have a coned head? Head of a god from Jabil in northern Syria. So Syria has a lot of history with it. A ton of history. Wow, you all, this is it's very interesting. It is. Let's look at him. I don't know who that is, but it looked like a child king. Head of a princess from the family of Akhenaten of the New Kingdom Egyptian. Where did they get all of these statues, you all? Where did they get them? I think that they should have a running channel that runs all through the day, 24/7, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, showing all the ancient artifacts from all around the world in all the museums and private collections. That I think they should. Then we'd get some real history, is what I think. Some real history. Let's see if we've got her. The royal head. Tutankhamun, New Kingdom, Egyptian 18th dynasty. Wow. Do you think that if you believe in reincarnation, do you think that any of us was back then? living back then. There are some people who say that they have lived back then. Oh. No, I wanted to see the one. I wasn't wanting to look at these ones. Well, we don't need to look at that one thing. Look at that. No, we don't want to look at that stuff. I got to get off of here. I don't want. I'm not looking at that because that's really not what I'm wanting to look at. I wanted to look at the other ones, the other statues of the animal-like things. Where did they go? Look, they have different 18th dynasty. Where was the 18th dynasty? We can look at that. This all looks kind of normal. It does. Oopsie. It does. I actually got to see this, I think, when I was in Berlin. There was some kind of Egyptian thing in a museum there in a coffin. And it was on tour there, and I can't remember exactly what it was when I was living in Berlin. I want to see if we can get back to those animals, if I can find it, you all. If you're just tuning in, I was just going through some of these pictures right here. Look, if this is real. If this is real right here, you all, look at that. It looks real. It looks like it's well preserved. A relief sculpture of Tutankhamun. These things right here. What kind of flowers are these? Look. A Syrian winged genius extends his hands in a protective gesture. A protective gesture. And he's got wings. You know they probably know who he is. I wonder why they don't say it. Let's see, these limestone relief mentioning the priest and draftsman. And just think, if we got these mud floods and it's hiding everything with the mud floods, where is this taking us? So this is a photograph of that on their head. So much symbolism in these pictures. Yeah. A lion goes with coverage. Yeah, it does. Let's see if... Ooh, that's our little... No, I don't want to do that. I just wanted to look... I wanted to just kind of look up there a little bit more to see what was at the top. Oh. If I touch it, you see they got it. They got hidden in it. They got their... thing. It's a print. Let's get off of there, you. I wanted to find those other ones if there were more. I want to see some aliens. I really do. Egyptian. This is in the Vatican Museums, you all. Egyptian tablet Vatican Museums, P816746. So if this is 8,000 or 8 million, who knows how many this would be. Let's view this image in the Vatican Museum. Why do they got these images there? And they caught on fire. There was an explosion, and they said it was a week after somebody visited. Why would they want that in their museum? In the Vatican Museum. This is the Brooklyn Museum. They've got these artworks scattered all over the world. It seems like all over the world. Ancient society. This is a little darker. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna try to get it darker if I can. Oh, we can't see it that well. Wonder what it all means with these circles and stuff. Down here and up here. What are they doing? E1B, rigid fluidity. Let's see if we can get out of there because I'm sure some of those look normal. Look, it's like they wrote their stories on here. There's the bird god. Is that Thoth? That kind of looks like him, does it? With his bird beak right there. That looked like a bird at the top. Wonder if any of these images are like UFOs or something. Well, they obviously felt it important to save artwork. Does she got wings or is it just her dress? I was trying to shrink it down, you all, is what I was trying to do. To see that whole thing right there. Wow. Let's see about this. And who is that? He's got something setting on top his head. And he's got a little bird head. Is that Thoth? Did somebody already say that? Is that how we're going to be if this civilization fades away? Nobody will know how to read the writing. I think somebody said AI cannot read cursive writing. And children aren't taught it. They're not taught it anymore. Cursive writing at all. Let me see if this is it, you all, if you are into this stuff like this. I just wanted to see if we could see some aliens. Yeah. Let's get out of here, you all. You know, I can. Let me stick this. If you got the being, I had to come over here. If you all got the being, no, I don't want that. You can, I should put this here so you all can go into these things. I'm probably going to get myself in trouble. That's okay. It won't be the first time I get in trouble when I get back to those beings who had animal faces. Oh, it won't let me go. I think I went back too far. That's not nice, you all. I think I went back way too far. Egyptian kingdom. Wow, look at these. That looks like the Anunnakis. The kingdom of Kush. Ancient Egypt. Look at the design on there. Wow, you all, this is really... Look at all of that is engraved. How could they get up there and do all of that? Really? Look at that. I've never been over there. I know there's some people who were fortunate enough to go over there and look at all of this stuff. Oops. I was looking at this right here. That's that Ankh, Ankh, isn't it? Look how well preserved it is. Some of these giants look like great big keyholes and stuff. Look, they got more of those. Why are there so many of these on the wall, on the columns and stuff? A senior project for a ancient school. What does that mean? Oh, I shouldn't. The key in their hand. Yeah, look at this right here. And there's people at the top. Yeah. Beings at the tippy top. It's all over it, you all. I'm keeping you all up at night. You don't have to stay on here, really, if you have to go to sleep. I understand it totally, completely. I really do. Where is that? I don't know where that's at. Boom. Look how well preserved that is. We all fallen. Are we ready to rise? I love that. I love that, Jana Banana. We all fallen. Question is, are you ready to rise? That's really nice. I like that. That rings true. It really does ring true. Look at that. And did you all hear that they had it actually had the lion's face up there, and they changed it and put the face of a man on there instead of that knocked off his nose, and because it was a lion, and they redid it, and they hid his feet that extended out. You know it had to be a lion, since they had those statues of the lions sitting on the throne. Yeah, they had to have it. Oh, wow. I don't know where that's at. That looks wild, too. That looks really well preserved. Maybe they just went and redid it. Look, they got that on top of their head, that whatever that symbol's supposed to be. Lionsgate Star System was the inspiration for that youth senior project. Ah, that's great. It really is. That is it's crumbling. The Old Kingdom was 2686 to 2181 BCE. The Great Sphinx that they hid. Let's see what else is here. Nubia. This is Nubia. They were what? Great warriors in Nubia. Wow. Isn't this... Did not the Taliban or somebody, whoever it was, went and destroyed some of these statues and stuff inside the mountain that were built on the mountains? How could you even carve something like that unless you know, like you said, was a giants. And really, what if this was the actual size of the giants? Well, let's see. 5, that'd be really, really tall if the average person down there is like maybe 6 foot, 6. And they'd be over 100 feet tall or something like that. Yeah, 100 feet tall, and the writing up there. Look at up there is a little bitty other, look like other things are up there. Other, I don't know, beings or something. They got their big heads up here at the top. It would be a sight to see. It really would be a nice place to look. But I don't think it's safe. It's not safe to go there at all. I'm going to try to get over here to what happened to Nubia. I was trying to look at Nubia. I guess we can look at some ancient Egyptian kings and queens. Isn't it like remarkable if you think about it how they were like worshipped or honored back then, these kings and stuff? Way back then. And then you know the like the people there just standing in awe looking at these pieces of art, at these. You think they made a fake history and none of this is true? But it's bound to be true. There's why does he got his beard like that? I wonder if they set this on top their head and then it rested on their shoulders. I guess it could have. It's very fancy, extremely fancy looking. King Tut in his coffin. King Tutankhamun. How a tomb. Okay, now let's read that. We got to read that. How a tomb cast a spell on the world. As the Pharaoh's treasures travel to London, Patricia Clavin looks at how the discovery of his tomb resonated with bloodshed and consumerism of the earliest 20th century. Wow. That's terrible. When his tomb was opened in November of 1922, the world fell under his spell. Let me put this in here, you all. Let me come over here. I think I copied it. I'm going to put that on here. The world fell under his spell. If it's going to put it in here. Yeah, I can do that. Save it. Under his spell. For today's archaeologists, the explanation for the cult of King Tut lies in the exceptional richness of the discovery, especially as many of the tombs were robbed of their mortuary goods, and in the mystique surrounding the premature deaths of the boy king and Lord Carnarvon, who funded the dig. As the largest collection of Tutankhamun's treasures to travel outside of Egypt goes on display at the Saatchi Gallery in London, a record-drawing breaking number in Paris. So the cult of King Tut, the power of King Tutankhamun lay as much in the extraordinary context of the 1920s as it did in the contents of the tomb. In 1922, the British archaeologists found the tomb was caught in the middle of a political storm. Egypt had already undergone a political transformation, and the new government kept a tight control on the artifacts. Wow. The tourists around the entrance of the tomb watched as a large, I guess the Western world went in to raise money to pay for it. For the complete excavation, preservation, and cataloging of the riches, they signed an exclusive deal with the Times newspaper, giving it sole rights to supply the world's press with news and photographs. And the arrangement was extremely unusual. The assistant archivist at the Griffith Institute in Oxford argues the financial support and continued media interest was vital because this was a costly excavation that in the end took almost 10 years. Wow. 10 years doing it. It enchanted the world by the treasures. Extraordinary. The curator of the ancient Near East at the Ashmolean Museum in Oxford says the Egyptomania was fed by a perfect storm of technology. The moment when radio, telegram, mass circulation, newspapers, and moving film came together so everyone could have a bit of Tut. King Tut. I bet that's an actual photo, you all. I really do. The excavation by Carter Nearling at the burial chamber in the 20th century. Many of the artifacts have yet to be studied. How did they make that so clear? Well, they can, I guess, with Photoshop. More than 5,000 objects were crammed into the tomb. The exquisite golden statues and jewelries, decorated boxes and boats and dismantled chariots were also signs of everyday life. Loaves of bread, hunches of meat, baskets of chickpeas, lentils, and dates. There were even garlands of flowers. You know what? They just desecrated his tomb, more or less. A white box which contained linen shirts, shawls, and loincloths, 18 sticks, and 69 arrows, and a trumpet in that white box. The discoveries inspired fashion designs of as generic Egyptian motifs: snakes, birds, lotus flowers, clothing. Burton's picture of luxury items spoke to the new construction of the 1920s. And wow, the roaring 20s consumer economy is what Veblen called the display power of shopping. Ostentatious consumption showed to the world that you could afford to buy more than life's bare necessities. Figures such as the goddess Isis were inspirational for modern girls, a new kind of woman who was emerging after World War I. King Tut fantasies referenced, wow, for demand for products referenced his world. Wow. It was perhaps easier to relate to it than other ancient kingdoms because Tut's father, Akhenaten, had ushered in a new style, Amarna art, that represented royalty in softer, more natural settings, offering intimate representation of family life, and women were much more prominent. Figures such as the goddess Isis, one of 4 statues guarding each corner of King Tutankhamun's conic shrine, were inspirational for modern girls, and a new kind of woman was emerging after World War I. Oh, that looks like a beetle, maybe. I don't know. That's really interesting. I'm too tired to read the rest. Cleopatra, they dress up like Cleopatra. Oh, wow. Guess they really did get into it, you all. They opened the first of the series. They revealed his gold funerary mask, and sometime later his fragile, broken body. Painstaking autopsy. He was but a young man, aged 17 and 19, between those ages. The discovery that the boy king had suffered multiple injuries fueled a new bout of fevered speculation and curse theory stories that link back to the death of Lord Carnarvon, only weeks after the tomb's opening. Wow. He had a dark side. The cult of King Tut had a dark side that spoke to people's private fears and hidden suffering. His body was unearthed at a time when society was still recovering from the impact of World War I. Most of the war casualties were also entombed far from home, and their bodies never returned. The discovery that Tutankhamun was a boy king and his body carried multiple injuries after his mummy was unwrapped in 25 captured the imagination of people mourning their war dead. or nursing injured loved ones. The bandaged, wounded young men who made it home from the front returned with some of the worst injuries ever seen and were treated out of sight because weak male bodies represented weak empires. Mummies could rise from the dead. Mummies who could rise from the dead were now immortalized by the new film industry. The first journalist to see the face of Pharaoh Tutankhamun was John Balderson. Wow. Look at all of that, you all. Boom. It's a global project, the 1920s craze. Look, you can't get over here to this Saatchi gallery. It's an error. It's a broken link is what it is. Let me get out of that, you all. We was looking at King Tut. I probably am going to go. You all made myself all tired, but that's okay. We can go. Yeah, we're going to go. There's like, where are we at? We are right here. So these beings right here, half man and like half animal, I think they really existed because they got statues about them. And it's like Pan with you had horses with human bodies, like upper part of their bodies, goats, all of it. It's really interesting. They probably still exist, but we don't see them. They exist somewhere, I'm sure. Yeah. You're so welcome, Apple Brooks. Thank you all for listening. I know it's late. No, I wanted to show this because they got the hoofs on their feet. He's got hair on his legs like an animal, and he's got hoofs on his feet with man hands, and he looks like reminds me of the lion in the Wizard of Oz. This is who he reminds me of. So yeah, that's all right, you all. We got to go. We do got to go to bed. So with that being said, hello wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello from my heart to yours. Love you. Have a wonderful evening, you all. Thank you for tuning in.